Gambians joined the celebration of International Women's Day and they renewed their commitment towards self-development. Tunisian authorities have raised concern over the rapid increase of irregular migration in the country. And many react on the arrival of the COVID-19 vaccine as they are in denial of the vaccine's efficacy. These and more coming on The World Today. Stay with us. Good evening, you're watching the World Newscast. I am Sohna Tunkara, and now to the news in detail. Every year, women over the world celebrate International Women's Day, and the Gambia is no exception. The theme for this year's celebration is Let's All Choose to Challenge, and our reporter went to Piran Village to gauge the opinion of women working at the quarry as to how they are spending the day and some of the difficulties they encounter in their line of work. And here is what she files in this report.
Year after year, March 8 is celebrated as the International Women's Day all over the world. The day celebrates the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women from all walks of life, while highlighting the day-to-day problems they face in the professional environment. Women from every corner of the globe come together on 8 March, which is also a call to action for accelerating gender parity. The theme for this year's celebration is Choose to Challenge. A challenge world is an alert world. The theme is meant to highlight the challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. We went to Pirang to know how the women working at the quarry are spending the day and also the challenges they faced in their line of work. This is what some of them had to say.
We are
working hard every day to sustain our families. We as women have to help our husbands because they can't do it all. If your husband gives you $1 and you also add another $1 on top of it, this is going to help the family a lot. This job is not an easy one because we don't have our own machine. And we use pickers to dig and then break the stones into pieces. When we sell them, we usually have sometimes 6,000 or 7,000, and this is the money we use to buy foodstuff, pay our kids' school fees, and also give them lunch out of it. We're working here in the quarry to help feed our families. We don't have other means of survival. Most of us are the breadwinners of our family. Our children goes to school and we are the one who give them lunch, pay their school fees and take care of their needs as well.
This year, most women have been immensely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Most women-owned businesses are closed, thus making life little hectic for them. Gambian women are known for their hard work and dedication, and most of them are solely responsible for the survival of their families. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, Binta Jallo.
Today marks yet another annual celebration of women, and now the Gambia Democratic Congress has on Saturday elected new executives that will steer the affairs of the party for the next 2 years. The Congress held at Farafenni, North Bank region, comes month before Gambians head to the polls to elect new president. The event also witnessed cross-carpeting of about 225 people from NRP to GDC. Our reporter Binta Jallo was there and she files in this report.
The Gambia Democratic Congress GDC held its congress at Farafenni, North Bank region. This is the second time the party is electing its executive as mandated by the IEC. GDC was established in 2016 and has since managed to gather a wide range of supporters across the country. The party has worked on various projects throughout the country, ranging from the waste system of the Banjul gutters, rehabilitation of mosques, boreholes, to awarding scholarships to deserving students, among others. Under the leadership of Mama Kande, GDC is said to have been championing the development of the country at all levels. Speaking at the event, the party leader of GDC, Mama Kande, underscored his party's position in helping the needy across the country.
Our people are in great despair and are eagerly longing for a break with the painful scenario. I do not have to remind anyone or anybody of the great role the GDC has been playing in crusading against this sad phenomenon. And we will continue to fight until we bring it to a halt.
Kande said the peace of the nation is of paramount importance.
We must uphold this peace and unity we enjoy to protect it at all costs and nurture it. That is the only way we can move this country forward.
According to Kande, a GDC government will ensure good governance principles are promoted at both central and local government levels by strengthening the autonomy of local government authorities. He said his party is poised to promote sustainable communities that plays an active role in promoting the economic, social, and environmental well-being of their areas through a mechanism of the Sustainable Community Strategy, which includes an obligation to involve the local people in the decision-making processes that affect their lives. Kande, who is also the flag bearer of the GDC, noted that GDC will empower local councils to make them strong development actors with complement from the central government. Dudun Dao, the public relations officer in the diaspora, dilated on the importance of political parties in the country.
Political parties in modern democracies are not only machinery in contesting of election, but represent the people in parliament and take grievances to the courts rather than the streets. Encourage citizens to regard democratic politics as morally and procedurally legitimate. By representing constituents in the corridors of power, parties render public policymaking accountable and expose instances of official malfeasance. Political parties should recruit, train, and socialize political actors that bring fresh talent into the system and ensure that democratic ideals are imbibed at the highest level of the society.
About 225 people from Sare Muti cross-carpeted from NRP to GDC at the event. Reporting for iAfrica TV News, Binta Jallo.
And from the latest updates on the Gambia's political arena by Binta Jallo, we move on. Following the first shipment of 36,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines through the COVAX facility, some Gambians are of the belief that the vaccine is not safe, while others are of the conviction that the vaccine can protect people from the virus. iAfrica TV engages the public to seek their opinions on the arrival of the vaccine.
The arrival of COVID-19 vaccines is a major development in the coronavirus pandemic. An effective COVID-19 vaccine will help protect people infected with the virus from becoming sick. As more people are vaccinated, families and communities will be able to gradually return to a more normal routine. Some people are asking if the COVID-19 vaccines are safe. Adama Jallo told iAfrica TV that she is willing to take the vaccines as the virus is killing a lot of people.
Yes, about the vaccine, I am ready to take the vaccine because of the fact that I want to protect myself and because the virus is killing a lot of people. So I am ready to take it. I recommend every Gambian to take the vaccine so that we will all be safe from the virus.
CDC Sahom, a shop owner, says if the vaccine can protect people from the virus, he will take it in order to remain healthy.
As long as it can protect the community, I am in for it. Yes, I am willing to take the injection, as it is related to our health and can protect us. I am down for it.
However, a vendor at Serekunda Market opposes the use of the vaccine as he has mistrust in the European manufactured vaccines.
My own idea moya pengu bi mandu mako jelde parce que xawma pengu bi luñ ko defare xawma pengu bi fum joge.
My own idea is I will not take the injection because I don't know where it is from. If the injection was made in this country, then I would consider taking it. But so as it is from Europe, I will not use it. The virus has no effect on the Africans. We are stronger and healthier than them. Corona cannot do anything to us. They are only looking for ways to reduce our population.
Research shows that COVID-19 vaccines have a very good safety profile. Data from the manufacturers shows that their potential to prevent coronavirus outweigh the risks the vaccines may bring. The Gambia received its first shipment of 36,000 COVID-19 vaccine doses to the COVAX facility at the Banjul International Airport on Tuesday night. Currently, the country has 4,759 confirmed cases, 152 deaths, and 4,143 recoveries. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Khadija Tuseka.
Divergent views on the efficacy of the COVID-19 vaccine in the study by Khadija Tuseka. Now, Guinea has joined the list of African countries rolling out its COVID-19 vaccines, and they are targeting frontline health workers and people above the age of 60. The vaccination program began in the country's capital, Conakry, where some frontline cases are registered. And the West African country has also received about 200,000 doses of the Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccines from China, and as part of its efforts to help developing countries to contain the virus. Details in this report.
Guinea has joined several of its West African neighbors in rolling out its COVID-19 vaccine drive. Healthcare workers, frontline staff, and those over 65 will be given priority.
As you know, this vaccine is intended for frontline staff. These are health workers. Then there will be workers in strategic positions and the elderly in our country. Ultimately, we want to vaccinate 20% of our population. We will do it gradually. We will start here in Conakry first because the city is home to more than 90% of our frontline cases. Then it will be the turn for the neighboring prefectures. And finally, we will go through some prefectures where the cases are very active.
The country has also received 200,000 doses of the Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine. The doses were donated by China.
Many countries are asking for the COVID-19 vaccine, and it is very difficult for developing countries to access it. To help these countries get these vaccines, China promised to make them a global public good so that they would be accessible and affordable in developing countries. To this end, China has been working hard to make Guinea one of the first countries to benefit from Chinese vaccine donations so that the country can vaccinate its population as soon as possible.
Guinea's vaccination campaign is set to run for several months. The country hopes to vaccinate nearly 70% of its population.
From that, we will go with a short commercial break. The news continues. Stay tuned.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back. If you're just watching, this is the World Newscast, and to the rest of our stories. South African farmers continue their farming activities despite the impact of COVID-19. About 900,000 people are unemployed in the agricultural sector, and it contributes about 3% to the country's GDP. More in this report.
The agricultural sector continues to operate during the COVID-19 lockdown. It contributes about 3% to GDP. Around 900,000 people are employed in the sector, and it provides much needed food security for the country. The minimum wage increase may affect this.
Farmers will obviously look at ways and means. One, to cut down on labor cost. In other words, they will look at mechanization, or they will reduce the number of workers. And the only way that you can actually reduce numbers if you close down certain parts of your agricultural business.
The agricultural sector covers a wide spectrum of subsectors, some of which don't need a lot of workers. But there are sectors like deciduous fruits, table grapes and wool which do require workers.
And that's where a national minimum wage can have a serious impact. One, on obviously on the profitability of a commercial farmer, and secondly, also on the possibility of creating more jobs. And at the end of the day, it's workers that suffer as a result of a national minimum wage, which is then unaffordable.
It's only the farm workers who are directly affected because the 16% increase in the minimum wage only applies to them. Workers in the rest of the agricultural value chain aren't affected. AgriSA wants the government to take a different approach.
Government need to relax the onerous compliance measures that are built into, one, labor laws, secondly, into the national minimum wage, and also other laws that might have an impact on the profitability of the agriculture sector.
South Africa's unemployment rate is 32.5%, and AgriSA says that tackling that should be the focus.
Our first priority now should be to get everyone into a job as soon as possible. Unemployment is the biggest driver of poverty, and we've seen rising poverty in rural areas all over South Africa.
It's all about the minimum wage. It's also about profitability of those commercial farms. So it's important that there's a compromise found.
Still on the global front, Tunisian authorities have raised concerns over the rapid increase of irregular migration in the country amid economic and social crisis. The frequent protests in the North African country due to lack of job opportunities has deteriorated the situation.
Experts say that Tunisia cannot cope with the high number of irregular migrants. They maintain that the country is not well equipped to cope with frequent migration flows.
Tunisian ports are insecure. The Marine Agency does not have the necessary logistical and human needs to monitor migration routes in the Mediterranean. The situation is critical because Tunisia, Italy and Europe are unable to control the wave of irregular migrants.
The Tunisian Forum for Economic and Social Rights has revealed that social protests and unemployment in Tunisia have fueled a new wave of migration. The rate of irregular migration grew recently and was said to have been driven by more than 1,400 protests recorded since January.
The voices of young people are not heard by the authorities. We are facing unemployment, poverty, social tension and political turmoil. In addition to that, violence against peaceful protesters is rising in Tunisia. That's why youths, including university graduates, prefer dying at the sea to living without dignity.
Authorities have also acknowledged that the number of Tunisians who died or who are reported missing is rising. The Association of Mothers of Lost Migrants has urged the state to increase the search and rescue operations.
We want to know the truth about the fate of our sons. We call on the President, the Prime Minister and their international partners to help us. They fled the harsh living conditions. We want to see them whether they are dead or alive.
The Interior Ministry has reported that 65 attempted crossings to Italian shores were foiled since last January 1st, against 47 in the same period last year and 12 in 2019. In addition, 1,051 undocumented migrants were arrested since the beginning of this year, in comparison with 887 during the same period in 2020 and 223 in 2019. According to the Tunisian Forum for Economic and Social Rights, the economic fallout from the COVID-19 crisis is pushing thousands of Tunisians to make the dangerous Mediterranean journey in search of better living conditions. In addition, at least 30 irregular migrants from sub-Saharan Africa have been rescued by the Tunisian Marines this year.
That was all from me and the rest of the crew on The World Today. You can stay tuned for more of our programs. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
may be the smallest country in Africa, but it will host the second largest gathering of world